Good afternoon. Hello, welcome. As ever, I'm Chris. This is Gross Models, and this is Wooden Wednesday, because it's Wednesday, and it's the day that I'm doing with the wood stuff. Like, wait a minute, I'll get it right without thinking. That one. Yes. Just like that. Just like that there, on my bench over here now. Apologies, the bin men have turned up down the road, like, a minute ago. So there'll be some beeping and shouting and rummaging of bins and stuff in the background that you can probably make out. But they will be gone soon, I'm sure. So, yes, welcome all. Thank you for joining me. Let me grab my mouse so I can scroll back through the chat and see who's here and who's what. I've been involved in the chat anyway while I've been setting up and getting the pre-roll running and things. I've got a new button set up for my pre-roll, which I have mentioned in my blog post on my website that I put up yesterday, about there. Go along and have a look. It shows you a little bit behind the scenes, behind the magic. But yes, so if you want to have a look and see how things work, you know, always explore the sausage factory. You don't want to know exactly what goes into the sausage, but you know, it's always nice to find out a little bit of the secrets behind the streams. So we have Nat as Dexterous Crafter in, saying morning Chris and everyone. Raging Bassist was in. Oh, wait a minute, why is Raging Bassist in? Raging Bassist shouldn't be here. Wait a minute. He says he's tired and didn't sleep very well, but oh wait. Yeah, it's Raging Bassist. Raging Bassist shouldn't be here. It should be Raging Modeler. But I'm sure you'll find out. Adam will look, check and notice and change it at some point. I'm sure I changed it later, but anyway. We have Model Making Trucker. Lewis is here. Also Model Making Mayhem. And Trucker, Mayhem, Trucker, Mayhem, me, Trucker, Mayhem, Trucker, Crafter. There you go. Raging Bassist, still there. Ooh. Trucker. Dad comes in, says good day one and all in one, everybody. One for all and me for me and stuff and things. Dad says it's pouring with rain there. What's the weather like where you are? It's nicer today. It's warm. I haven't had to put the fan on. No, I've not got the fan on. I had to think for a minute and go and look at it, see if it was turning. But no fan on today. I have got the window open still, but it looks like it's going to rain a little bit, which will be quite pleasant. So we still have Mayhem, we still have Raging Bassist, Dexterous Crafter, Trucker, Mayhem, Trucker, Mayhem, Trucker, Mayhem, Raging Bassist says pictures are up of the new Mini. We'll post in your group shortly to Dad and get a drink. It's in the Gross group, I've seen it. It's in the group there. Talking about deliveries and stuff and things. And it's all my posts that get posted up automatically when I push a button. It does all the things. I've got to make one little tweak to it because it didn't do it quite right there, but it did. Shane comes along. That's that. Shane Redlen also come in. Everyone's saying everyone's all right. Oi, bassist, you did a Dave, says Mayhem. The Raging Modeler says, who's this Raging Bassist bloke? Was watching a Critical Role on the channel and on said channel who may or may not be me. I need more sleep. Trucker says, fine here, just cloudy. Oh, we have a visitor, someone who's not been around for a little while, but we have who says, woohoo, made a live stream. Hi Chris, hi all. Hello. Nat as Dexterous Crafter says it's cloudy and definitely cooler on the east coast. Sal's here saying g'day. Skullfish and Crafter and Trucker and Dad and Trucker and Skullfish and Mayhem. Yes, there we go. That's everybody here. So, without further ado, I shall continue with this stream, which is the final, absolutely, definitely, for sure, the final, not the final Wooden Wednesday, but the final Wednesday that I'm doing this particular one. I pointed the wrong way, because it's actually there, but it's not there, it's there. But, you know, anyway. That says, hi from Connor. Hello, Connor. Welcome. There's not much counting to do on this one, unfortunately, but you can remind me if I forget to sand bits. All right? Okay. Right, so, yes, this is for sure the last one. This is the twiddly main thing of the model Aviator, which does sort of work. If you can turn that, and if it's not locked, that top bit turns. If that is locked, then it sort of winds it up, and then when you release that, it sort of turns. a bit. I think this bit, the power reserve, isn't eased in enough yet. It needs a little bit more playing with, and I can't get it apart to lubricate it anymore, but it needs a little bit of tweaking. So that was what I've been doing previously. And then last week I did that, the helicopter bit. Again, that was a little bit stiffer than it needed to be. So I have tweaked that again and made sure that that is actually now, you can turn it relatively easily. I'll switch down to the other camera in a moment to show you. But that's definitely, it doesn't exactly spin, but it doesn't take very much movement. It actually gets powered in there, and that powers all of it, makes it go, which again sort of works. The one problem I've had with this, the way it connects onto that big arm on the big thing, is just on here. Let me switch down to the bench view, because then you can actually see it. It clips in here, but it sort of clips in a strange way in that it doesn't actually fit and clips in. It has to bend in and clip, but it doesn't quite work. So that might be more of a static model. Hopefully what I'm going to be doing today, using these 3 sprues, is building the other option, the biplane that you can put onto the kit there. So that's today. I thought I was going to get both of them done, the helicopter and the biplane, done last week, but it took longer to do that. I don't know why it would have taken any longer. I can't think of any reason that I might have slowed down in my building. But for some reason, it took me longer to build than I thought it was going to. So this week, I'm pretty sure that I can do one whole biplane, because it's got less parts. I've had to take some of these off for the helicopter, so there must be less parts now for the plane. So that's all going to be okay. Yeah, there we go. Right, so I have the instruction manual for that. Let me get rid of the mouse because I don't need that at the moment. I can flip back around here. Yes, this is the last bit of the instruction manual. Before I got to this, the pages just before it were how to operate the thing and wind it up, because we finished doing the helicopter. And then we've got pages and pages of how to wind it up and set it up and what the controls do and things. And then almost as an afterthought they thought, oh yeah, there's another bit you can still build. So yes, we do still have that. I don't know, probably the best way to do it is to have that up the top there, so you can sort of see some of it, but you don't need to see all of it. And yes, it looks like I need 4 and 5, so that's 6. I don't need that yet. 4 and 5. So from 4, I need, they conveniently, as you can just about see on these, they grey out the, or sort of brown out, the parts that you need for this stage. So all you have to do, from these laser cut sheets, if you've not watched any of the previous videos in this series, or indeed any of the wooden kit things, I recommend that you go and do it. Don't necessarily do it now, because you're watching this now, but afterwards you can go and catch up on the whole thing. I think there's about 8 or 10 of these for this particular kit in this Wooden Wednesdays live stream. That piece is not wanting to come out very easily. I did mention last week that these smaller sprues, the quality of the cut has not been as good as it was on the bigger pieces. So it's taking a little bit more pressure to put these out. Things are just not quite as nice. That's probably what slowed me down, actually, now I come to think of it. It's because getting a piece out like that shouldn't take this long. So that's probably what slowed me down last week. Having to get the parts out from slightly less than optimal conditions. Right, oh, good, great. There's 2 more. Oh, that one was a bit easier. And that one was a bit easier. Just that one down the bottom that was a bit of a problem. Get those. Then I need those 2 as well. All of these bits. They all look to be the same or very similar. I assume this is part of the engine coming through. So yes, if you haven't watched one of these streams before, then it's just me live building one of these now, unless you're watching it on record, in which case it's back from earlier. Dad says bin wagon. Trucker says don't forget Paige. Hi, Paige. I wasn't just talking to Connor. It was obviously both of you, but you know, it was just that Connor was mentioned to me, so I hadn't forgotten that there was another child in the household. Right, let's see what we've got down there. Connor, you'd better not have touched my model, says Lewis. Okay, I'm sure he didn't. Connor, go and touch his model, says the Raging Modeler. Not the brandy then, says the Raging Modeler. I don't know. No, it couldn't possibly be. I don't know why. Connor says, no, Daddy, including the cheeky smile. Right, so let's see. Have I got all of those bits? Got those two, those four, those two. That little one there I need as well. So that's all from that sprue. From this one I need those three up the top there. Now, these are easier to get out with this, I think. He says, not being able to get it out with that. 2, 3. And looks like 2 more of these from elsewhere around the sprue. That one and that one. That one and that one. Right, so that should be all of the parts required for this first stage, the first page basically. Now they do need sanding. Some of these are going to be moving parts that will be rubbing and wearing against other parts, so you definitely need to make sure that they're nice and smooth. So that one's done. Let's have a look. Just no new chat in there. If you're watching and not in the live chat, then you should be, because that's where the fun happens. It's all very well and good watching me do this and sanding things, but the really important stuff happens in the chat. So if you can't see the live chat, have a look through YouTube. It should be there somewhere. You may have to scroll down if you're watching on a mobile device or an app or something. So yeah, scroll around till you can find the live chat. Join in. Just pop in, say hello. You know, everyone else in there will take care of it if I'm too busy to actually read out your comment. But so everyone just hangs around in there and chats to each other. Other than that, that's pretty much, you know, where all the fun thing happens. So pop in there and join in. Say hello to everybody. These look like they're okay actually. They're not moving parts, so they're not so worried about the fit and things. But these probably are, at least on the ends. Oh no, the ends are going to fit into the... I'm just sort of looking at the instructions ahead while I'm doing this. So they're not really going to move. Although they might a bit. I'm not sure about that. That's very strange. It sort of says lubricate it, but then it shows it jammed into a bit. So I'll do as the instructions say, and we'll figure it out. Eric says, because the chat is the only interesting thing that happens in Gross Model streams. Yes, I believe I mentioned that. It's definitely the funnest place to be. And they'll look after you. You'll see some people in there have, depending on what format you're watching on, a blue name or a little picture of a spanner after their name. That just means they're moderators on the channel. So they have extra added mod powers. The ability to kick out people that are causing trouble. Not that it's ever happened. And just to look after things, approve chat messages if any chat messages come through that are slightly confused by YouTube's algorithms, then the mods can choose to ignore or post them. So yeah, I'm not expecting any trouble. There's never any trouble in the streams. All the model making community is lovely, or at least all the people that watch my streams are all lovely. You're all know what you're doing and you look after each other, and yeah. Skullfish says Spannerer. We're the extra fluffy ones, says Nat, the dexterous crafter, yes. Many of the people in the chat have also got their own streams and channels, so it's always worth popping along. There's no easy way of doing it anymore. Apparently, there used to be a way of doing it. In YouTube, you used to be able to click the name or the little icon and have an option to go to that channel. Apparently there was some problems with it, and YouTube sort of took away the ability to do that. But apparently it is coming back. So hopefully, at some point relatively soon, that will be returning. Because that makes it a lot easier to find other channels and things. If you're chatting to somebody and it, you know, chances are they've got their own YouTube channel. It's nice just to be able to click on the name and visit it and subscribe to it and watch their stuff. At the moment, there's no quick and easy way of doing that, so you've just got to sort of write down their name or type it into the search bar, track it down the long way. But it's still worth doing because, you know, people like to see other stuff. I'm the tea-soaked one after watching Fox is dead. Yeah, watch Fox's video. Fox isn't in the chat at the moment. He's probably still recovering. He had some packages sent to him, one of which might have been a surprise for him. So, yeah, after I've finished here, have a pop across to the Model Making Guru YouTube channel and watch that. Lewis says, "Thanks, Chris, I'm lovely." Sometimes you're lovely, Lewis, yes. You have your moments. And then you have the other moments when you're just nasty to Nat and then she bans you. But, you know. Eric says, "Know what I'm doing." Me looks around. Nope, he wasn't referring to me. No, I know who I was referring to. And I know who I wasn't referring to. Right, there we go. That's those. Put together and lubricated. And then we don't do anything with them for a little while. Obviously, because where's the fun in that? We need that. And the other thing that they supply you with are cocktail sticks. Many cocktail sticks. It says get 5 of them, so I'm going to get 5 of them. I have been limiting my use, but I've got quite a few left over. As model makers, cocktail sticks are always useful for things, even, you know, stirring of paint and stuff like that. So never throw them away. If you've got a kit that supplies them and you have some left over, then definitely keep hold of them because they'll come in useful for something. Lewis says, "She's my own spanner." Olives and cherries, says Skullfish. I'm not sure what that was in relation to, but I forget what I've said almost immediately that I've said it. So, yeah. Right, these go through all of these holes, of which there are 10. No, there are 8. No, there might be 10. I don't know. I can't do the counting. 2, 4, 5. Yes, there's 10 of them. So 5 cut in half means 10 halves. So we get all of those. Sorry, that was an ideal opportunity to do the counting, but I forgot. Sorry. They're all in now. And then we can push them down. Probably can't push them all down at once, so I'll use the edge of the bench, which is probably just about still on camera. To get them all. That one's broken. That's okay. That's not a problem. It's not broken enough. Actually, it might be broken enough. I'll have to replace that one. For some reason, a couple of these are not going through very well. And I've just broken another one off the top there without even putting any pressure on it. That's very strange. Wonder why I'm having trouble with those today. That might be one cocktail stick that was a little bit damaged. So let me remove both of those. Is that going to come out there? Yes, that will go through there. Right, let's remove both of those. Get that one replaced on there. And I might as well, I'll use another one. No, I've got that, that's long enough, so that'll be fine. Use that bit down on there. So there we go, that's what we got here. All of those through there. Then we get these bits going to there, pointing outwards. Let's get that tricky one on first. This is obviously the engine assembly. There we go. The trick is going to be putting them on without impaling myself on the spiky bits. I'm sure we'll get there. That's that. It says then to cut them off. Oh, cut off half of them. Ah, that's interesting. We'll see exactly what that means in a minute. That's that. One, 2 more. Last one. Right. Cocktail sticks, Chris, the Skullfish. Indeed. Instructions to make little umbrellas. Ah, right. Ah, that's olives and cherries because of the cocktail sticks. I get you now. Sack the teacher. Lee's here. How's Chris doing? You alright? You snapped your wood. I feel stabity coming here. It almost did, but it didn't. So, yeah. Right, now, this is the interesting bit. According to that instruction, it says to remove the tops of the ones on the left. So let's push that down onto the table to get the bottom of that all flush. And then not cutting that one, but cutting that one. A bit like that, but not like that, because that's broken that bit. I don't know what... Did I catch that with my finger? Because it certainly wasn't anything else. Right, I'm going to change my tact and use an old pair of nippers to do that. Probably catch it instead of letting it ping off. Yes, so there we go. That's a better way of doing that without it going everywhere. So we're down to 5 of those and one bit of that broken, which I shall glue on even as we speak. No stabity, but dangerous breakage. Breakage might have happened a little bit because all of these pieces are actually cut all the way through, so it's only a very fine bit that holds it all together. Let's get a little bit of glue out of here. I've had the glue standing upright, so it's all gone down the bottom of the bottle, which is where you normally need it to be. But normally when I know I'm going to be using it, I lay it down so it's just got a little bit to run out. So there we go, a little bit of glue on there. This is basically a thick super glue. It's Gorilla super glue, which I find works for almost everything. So that will go on there like that. This is, I'm pretty certain, a purely decorative piece. There's no forces going to be applied on that at all, so it doesn't worry me that it's not intact and prime. That will be fine enough to hold itself on there. Yeah, there you go. That's that. So that will be dry in a minute or two, and that will be fine. Right, so we can put that aside for now while we do some more stuff with that and the bits that we've already done. They all go into there. So there's movement side to side. That's why they had to be lubricated. Right, so that goes in there, and then that all goes onto the other thing, which is going to be fun. So we've got those all on there, which have got, say, rotational movement. Not sure why, but I'm sure it'll become clear momentarily. That's going to go on the top, so we need that bit now, and I've got to get that in there. Right, there's going to be some moving action on the inside of that as well, so I'm going to lubricate that. Actually, I'm going to lubricate this. It's going to be much easier to get to. Lubricate all of those, because as well as other things sliding, that is going to be sliding across the inside piece, and I'd like to get this as free as possible to cause as little friction as possible. Yeah, there you go. So that goes on there. Alright, I'm sure that that's going to be engine-like, and as that rotates, that can't really rotate, can it? I don't know. I've given up trying to second guess exactly what's going to happen, but I would reckon that bit is obviously going to turn slightly, which will make them go in and out slightly and give a piston engine effect, hopefully. So that goes on there, and then that piece sits over the top. I've got to get that the right way round. It's that way round, and they obviously all fit into the big holes around the edge. And that goes down on there. That bit that I've glued, just need to make sure it's in the right place. Now it's been moved around a little bit. So yeah, that inside piece will shift a little bit from side to side, as well as rotation. It might not actually touch the edges, so I might not have needed to lubricate that, but it's always best to lubricate it and not need it than the other way around. Right, so that was that. So that's that. I'll put that to one side, turn the page over, and we start a new assembly. Let's have a look. Lee says, how's Chris doing? Hey, yeah, alright. How many glasses of brandy is this? This is the first one. I just used the one while I'm doing my building. It wasn't full either. It was normal, you know, sort of down to a bit higher than it is at the moment. I am cultured. It is sort of the, you know, sipping brandy rather than guzzling. Right, I do need all of the screws for this one. From 4, I need... No, there's little drawings on there. I'm going to say there's a darker patch. Just that one bit from down the edge. That's really stuck in there. I haven't bothered to cut very finely around that at all. Yeah, that's not shifting very easily. I might actually need to apply some cutting down the edge there. There's a seam. There we go. Another one there. There we go. It's almost like these little parts are made by the apprentice, and the big sprues were made by the master. The big sprues came apart lovely. These ones, not so much. Right, from 5, I need probably the rest of these little rotating round bits. So there's 1, 2. Jammed it in so hard I can't get the tool out. I think if someone says drink, Chris should drink his brandy, how drunk can we get him? Well, I'm not going to refill the glass. So, not very, I think, is the important answer. Although drinking it quicker would be more than normal, shall we say. So, yeah. Right, that's all of those from that. And then from this one, we need lots. I like lots because it means, you know, things are coming together. We've got that bit, the 2 brackets next to it. They're not so bad. These 2 from here, which are in a little interior piece, so let's get the interior piece out. And then the 2 wheels. Just give him a straw and put it in the bottle, says Mayhem. Yeah, no. Just drink from the bottle, says Trucker. No. It's a nice bottle. It's quite big. So no. And he has the right idea. No! Not drink. I don't have to drink him with Chris, says Trucker. No. The whole point of these streams is the wooden building things. It's not the watching Chris get slowly inebriated. Yeah, no. I shall drink, but not to order. That's 3 drinks. Yeah, I shall have some drinks in a minute. I've got some non-alcoholic beverages over behind me over there. Didn't say what I had to drink, so I might just use those. Right, that's those out, so I can throw away the extra bit. Yes, it is, says Eric. I'm pretty sure YouTube will be cross if I just use this as a Drink with Chris channel. That's not what I sold it to them as. That's not what I intended it to be. Alright, a little bit of sanding. A little bit of sanding. Because you never know what's going to be an active rotating part on these. It might be these, it might be the other bits. It's probably going to be these, but I don't know for sure. We'll leave that fun for Ted's stream. Yes, that's a good idea. We'll have Ted and his gincidents. Ted's doing another live stream tonight. If you're not already subscribed, Skipper Ted. I think the channel is just Skipper Ted, isn't it? I think it might be Skipper Ted's Models, but anyway, you'll know him. You'll find him. It's Ted. He's on at 9 o'clock. I don't know what he's going to be doing. He's building that little Tamiya army vehicle thing with the guys with the arms that fall off and get dropped on the floor quite a lot, isn't he? So I'm sure he's continuing on with that. Right, there we go. That's that. I will need some more lubrication. Not for myself, for the parts. My personal lubrication has no basis in any of this. Alright, that one goes through there, and that one goes through that. Well, that's going to be easier just to do that first, isn't it? Get that through there. All the way through there. So, there's a very good chance that this is going to rotate. So let's lubricate that. Get that through there. Like that. Ish. There we go. So that does rotate in there if it needs to. Then it's one of these on the top of that. Now that's going to have a little bit of rubbing around there as well. So let's lubricate that. Then get that through there. Like that. Cool, I like that. So far so good. Mirror, it says. I'll do the other one but opposite. So that one goes that way, so that one's going to go that way. So let's get that through there. All the way through there, come on. Nearly there. That'll do it. Let's lubricate that. And that's got to be the mirror, so it's got to go through from that side. And then we can lubricate that. They've put just the right amount of lubrication in here by the looks of it, because that's, you know, getting to be harder to handle. But I've almost got to the end, so I'm pretty sure they've done it just about right. So that will go on there. Now this is going to be moving on something, so let's get all of that lubricated while I can get to it. And the same on the other one. Two best things on YouTube: Fox scrapping himself and Chris getting drunk. Something will be past Lewis's bedtime. I can't wait Ted's stream tonight. I'm running an escape room for I can't watch, I assume, for a few friends over Skip tonight. Which if anyone wants to do, I will run for them. Oh, Raging Waddler runs escape rooms. There we go. I think you mentioned something about that before, but I didn't. Yeah, over Skype. Oh, right, I gotcha. Yeah, that might be fun. I'll yeah, might have a word with you about that at some point. Nat can't escape stream raging. Ted's live stream link from Dad. There you go. Thank you very much. Right, got to go. Nearly empty now, says Trucker. Okay, as long as they're working and you're sitting there watching stuff, that's fine. See you later, Lewis. Thanks. Something you don't usually hear in live streams, including lubricating, rotation, and getting harder to handle. It depends on the live streams you watch, I would assume. Right, let's get that way round. Then the big round bit goes on there, all the way up to the tip. That's not going on very easily. So, sanding and lubrication. Give it a rub, just to take the edges off. And then make it a little bit easier for it to slide. And then it still doesn't go on very well. Okay. Check to make sure it's not square. It's not square. It doesn't matter which way around it goes. it is just going on there, it's just tight. So there we go, that's that on there. Then two of the little ones. Difficult because there's not a flat bit to push against, so it's tricky to get that on there. Although in theory I'm taking the edges off a little bit every time I put one on, so it should be a little bit easier time to time. I'm just going to use that to again take the edges off, make sure it's properly round, because I've got a feeling that this is going to be quite important. There we go, that's that on there as well then. Let's do the same to the outside piece. Paul's here, Paul de Tasso. Morning people, you're not finished yet. No, not quite, but nearly this time. This will be the last one, honest. Probably. That one on there. Right, so that's built that sort of shaft piece, which I can now lubricate. I don't think there's going to be anything rubbing across the middle piece there, but I might as well, while I'm here, add a little bit of the wax. Right, so that's that. Turning the page over, we progress to a nice big large assembly thing. Making sure it's only one page that I turned over. I don't think I've done that on this one. I think I've been getting each page properly done. I need 4 and 5, so not 6. Right, from this one, which is 4, I need not that bit on the corner, but that big one there. That will come off, it will. For some reason it's not, but it will. There it goes, that bit. These two big bits with the little engraving pattern on them. Those. And the top two of these bits. Not wild number of pieces left over, so I suppose there's still most of this sprue, but that's that. And then the big piece. There we go. Right, then let's get the nubs removed from here. Again, not a working, moving part, so it's just to improve the look more than anything else. Make sure there's no little sharp edges. Also, the sandpaper they've supplied is still doing all right. It's obviously used and worn and got some patches on it that are worn out, but again, it seems to be just about the right sort of size for the right amount of use. So congratulations U-Gears on that. Everything seems to be about right with these U-Gears kits. No glue required or anything like that, and it all just sort of fits and works. So what have we got? I've got that bit and that bit, which just go together, not together. They just go like that. And then this one, how do I know which one? Are they the same? They're not the same. One's got a short corner and one's not got. So this is the one without. Goes on that side. Where about? Oh, on there. Right. So this goes in there, and these have got the hooks over the top that go in there as well from the other side. Okay, so you do have to lubricate that because it just slips over. So let's just pop that back in there. I'll show you actually what happens. You might be able to see more easily. These go together like that, but because they have to go through a hole as well, they have to be pushed together and they just sort of lock in. So obviously make sure you get them the right way round, the top ones and the bottom ones, and then in theory you should just be able to make sure I get it right, because it's not going to come apart again once it goes together. Goes in there, and the bottom one isn't quite lined up right. Let's get that over there. There we go, that's on that side. That's not going in there very well. It's because it's not the right hole. Got to pick the right hole. There we go. So they're lined up and just need more force to put them together. So I'm going to try and put even force across it in a straight line. Like that. Not like that. Slightly bent line. The bottom bit broke off. So, let's try that again. And then add some glue. That sounded better. Don't like that joint. It's not a very clever joint. Actually, that didn't work better because I think that bottom bit broke off. Even more. Right, glue time. Cunningly, I left the glue laying down. Yeah, I didn't like that joint. That wasn't very pleasant. It seems that there's no need for that. Some glue in that side. Some across that side, because I don't know if that actually broke or just creased a little bit. Some down there. Some across there. Across the other side as well. Now the trouble I'm going to have is that this is going to be the main framework. So there's a very good chance that other things are going to fit into here and strain it and support it, but also strain it. Yeah, look, there's another one. That's exactly the same type of attachment that's just horrible. So let's continue on as best we can and see what happens. This is going on to the front. That way up. And that's that way round in there like that. So that's quite easy. And hopefully enough of these around it will add a bit of support to it as well. So that goes on there, and then this bit that I didn't like, that goes on the front as well. That's not the front, that's the back. Oh, this is in the wrong hole. I see. I'd put that on the front. I've done that wrong. So where I've glued that, that's completely wrong. They're right, but that's wrong. So let's get that apart before the glue sets. That actually goes through there. So let's get that apart from there. That off from there. Let's get that in there. Right, and then that was there. So yeah, U-gears, no glue required, except when you mess it up and have to glue it together because a bit broke. Right, so that's there like that. Now this bit is one of those that's going to go where I thought that first bit was going to go. I'm pretty sure something's going to break when I put the other half in anyway. So if I get that done relatively quickly, then the glue will still be of use. Sal says, my model making inner nerd heart breaks when a part snaps on you. Yes. Yeah, the trouble is some of the tolerances are that low that even getting it a little bit off will cause problems. Right, now it's telling me to put the other bit in there first, so let's nip as quickly as I can through this bit so I can get it done before that glue sets. So I don't need 5, 4 and 6. So 4, I need those 2 bits from down there. That's obviously the parts the other side. Paul, did I miss something? Yes, Fox's unboxing video. You've got to go and watch it. Don't watch it yet, obviously. Finish with me. But once I'm finished, definitely go and watch it. Best enjoyed with a beverage in your hand, I believe, is the deciding factor from everybody. So yes, watch it, but make sure you're watching it when you've got a drink. Right, now, I've put that in there the wrong way around as well, as that goes into that hole there. And when that goes into that hole, that bit goes onto the end, like that. Okay, right, so then I've got to do these onto the other side of this. Like that. And then we can turn the page, and then we get the other half of this together. And that's the point at which I need to make sure it all fits. So that's probably this bit, is it? If I get it the right way up, the right way around. Don't need that sprue at all. This is from 4 and 5. 5 is that bit, and those 2 at the top. This wood is also not as nice as the wood from the main assembly, as well as it not being cut so well. Or maybe it's a combination of the 2 things. This bit. They're not coming off as well, so I would expect probably the laser cut tolerances aren't as good. So that's why I'm making excuses. Right, so let's get this through here before the glue sets too much. There's actually a bit still in there. Looks like a bit broke off inside that. Get rid of that, don't need that anymore. So that goes in there, that one goes in there. And then this has got to go that way up, onto there, and onto there. Now luckily, whenever I make any of these videos anyway, if I'm doing it as a video or a standalone thing, I think I've just put that up the wrong way up. Yes, I do tend to show my mistakes anyway. It's not like I try and cover up when things go wrong in any of my builds. So a lot of you might be sitting here thinking, he's done that bit wrong again. But the fact is, I can't get it out. The fact is that we all make mistakes when we're doing things. And if I tried to make a video and nothing ever went wrong in it, then it just isn't life. It isn't true. And it seems that the bin men have returned outside, if you can hear them. So I wouldn't want to make a video that was, everything working perfectly first time, because that just doesn't happen. It certainly doesn't happen to me. I'm expecting this is probably going to break as well. That half went in okay. That half not so well. Graham M says, "Hi Chris, turned in late. Is this part of the helicopter you were talking about?" No, that's the helicopter I was talking about. This is the biplane that is part of the same kit. It just is used. You can use either or. Boy, that takes a lot of pressure. That's not right. It is lining up. I think it's just the type of joint that they use in it is just not very friendly. Now the problem is I've already got the other half in, so I can't take it apart again because I know getting one half out is going to be impossible. So it's just going to be a case of try again. I shall try adding some lubrication to the next bit to go through the hole. Possibly even shave away a little bit from it. Just try and make that a little bit easier. Nope, that's not moving. Right, let's get that out. Yeah, as I was saying, so there's no point in cutting out big chunks of video that things didn't work as intended, because life doesn't always work as intended. And if you try and gloss that over, then everybody will know that, you know, it's not how it works. Right, the other side of that's coming out. There's nothing blocking out the hole, so it's not that there's anything causing a problem. I think this piece is just not a great fit. So that's that side in. Let's try and get the other side in now as well. No, it's just not having both of them at once. There we go. I'm shocked and appalled that that didn't break. But happy, but shocked. Well, anyway, that should support the other piece that broke. So hopefully that will not cause any problems down the line. This is obviously the propeller piece that will be powered and working. It did say to lubricate that, but I skipped over that bit while I was busy with the other, so yeah. Dexter's Crafter says, in the last live stream you asked him if he had a modelling tray or table in the truck. The answer is he doesn't, because he swaps trucks every week. Alright, so it's not his truck or whatever, it's just the truck that they issue him with for the week of deliveries. Lewis. Right, yeah. Dad says few. Yeah, I thought few as well. Her indoors needs to be obeyed. Has a shopping list, says Mayhem. Oops. Right, let's get all these bits that I couldn't get out very easily last time. So I need to just help out that cut. Yeah, the normal U-Gears kits I have had very few problems with. It seems to be these, they don't feel as nice. The whole screws themselves are not quite so friendly, not quite so finished. It's just, yeah, definitely more of an afterthought than the main assembly. But still, I'm sure it'll all come together lovely. Let's see, I've got that. So I've done that bit. Next up is on the end here, I've got to put these two into there. Get them the right way round. Right, now we come back to the other assembly that I built. Can't even tell which bit I had to glue on that. Oh, there it is. And that's nice and secure now, so that's okay. That goes on to the end here. Obviously it doesn't really matter which way round because it's all going to be rotating anyway. Lubrication before I get to that. Do I need to do anything? No, I think that should be okay. It's got to go through there. And the 4 pins going to go into the 4 holes. Let me, before I do that, finish off this one and get rid of the spiky bits, because spiky bits. I must have missed that part of the instruction where it said to remove them previously. Don't use decent nippers for this. These are my old grotty, rubbishy ones. sand down both sides of that. Right, now I can push against it without so much fear of things going through my fingers. Right, trouble is I'm pushing against that bit that I've just glued, so got to be careful with that as well. That middle bit needs to come through there a little bit further. And you've got to make sure you get all 4 of them lined up. So there's 2. That one looks like that's lined up, and that one looks like that one's lined up as well. So let's try. I can't push down on the end because that's coming through the end. So it really is just a case of a little bit at a time, a little bit of pressure everywhere. Hopefully getting everything to fit through. So far so good. If I turn that, what happens? Very little. Yeah, because that is slightly offset. So yes, that does do what I thought it was going to do. If you can see that, hopefully. It makes the little pistons go in and out just a little bit. So again, like all of these wooden things, if you don't move it, if you build it and just put it all together, when you try and move it, it won't work. You need to make sure each individual piece moves on its own before you add the next bit. And it's got to be fairly smooth, so it basically takes a little bit of wearing in. So it's always worth at each stage making sure it works, and making sure it works relatively freely. There we go. Lucky he has a good memory. Remember when he saw your name pop up, Paul? What? Who? Where? What? Me? Someone else? I don't know. No idea at all. Ah, I was talking about Nat, Dexterous Crafter. It's Mrs. Crafter. Yeah, downside to YouTube names, you can't really tell. Absolutely. That's why Fox calls everyone dude. And I just try and avoid gender nouns entirely because, yeah. Unless I know you, then I don't know. And even if I know you, I've probably forgotten. So, yes. Anyone can be anyone they want. Alright, that's moving, and relatively smoothly, so I'm pretty sure that'll be okay, so it probably won't be. It says to do it. It says make sure it twiddles, but there's one more bit to put on first. Done that bit, now I've got to do this bit. So that goes on that side, by the looks of it, just over there. Now, yeah, this is the bit that fits to the main assembly. Because it's got these bits that sort of give a little bit, and that sort of clips up into it. But with the helicopter, there wasn't really enough room to put the wheel in before you clipped it upwards. So you sort of had to do it at an angle, and that might have been causing problems. So hopefully this one has enough room underneath to put it in and then clip it up. How can I demonstrate that? I'll use this. There we go. Imagine that piece is like T-shaped. So you can't put it in, it's got a block across the end, so you can't just shove it in from the end. You have to go underneath and then raise it up into it. But you can't do that because there's not enough room underneath for the wheel to fit through. Hopefully this one's better. We'll find out. Let's turn the page. Let's have a quick drink. How much more we got? A few pages. I saw some elastic bands in use there as well. Right, I need 4 and 5. Oh good, look, more of these bits. Just what I was hoping there was going to be. I was just thinking to myself, there's not been nearly enough of those bits that break really easily in this kit. I do hope there's some more coming up. And lo and behold, look, some more. And that bit's not coming off there either. Yeah, I must admit, I do recommend these kits. They're great fun, but that's an extra piece. So this is the last one off this sprue. There do seem to be a couple of issues with a couple of parts on these last bits. The main assembly, no troubles at all. It was all fine and lovely. That looks like an additional piece in there as well. So let's get rid of that. but don't need that at the moment. It's this one that I need, and I need that piece, that piece, now to be honest, even if this thing doesn't work at the end of the day, which I'm approaching thinking that it might not, it's still been great fun building it. Obviously, if it does work, that'll be even better. If it doesn't work, then I can still tweak it and play with it, and eventually, hopefully, you know, find a way of easing it so it does work. I think it might just be a case of playing with it enough. So, yeah. Sal says, that's okay. I often forget how to spell the names I created for my stories and have to go back to earlier in the story to check the correct spelling. Eric says, it's all good. I randomly blurt out Citadel paint names for no reason. Yeah, as long as you don't do the ones that Fox has invented. Because you might get kicked out of places for doing that. Right, that one goes in the middle. Like that. And it says lubricate the end of that, because that's the end of that is the horrible clippy thing. So not only will I lubricate it, I'll also sand it down a bit. Not a lot. You'll like it, not a lot. I'll sand it down, not a lot, just enough, and hopefully enough, so it works. As those two are going to go together. I don't know where that bit's going to go, but we'll figure it out. We'll get there. Alright, this has got to be the one with the bits over, which go in there and there. Okay, so before I do that, once again, I'm just going to sand the edges of these, just to make that a slightly easier fit. My rapidly disintegrating wax supply. That in there like that. Okay, this piece just goes onto the end there. Okay, then this one, which again I shall sand down and lubricate. Should go very nicely just into there, like that, just like that. Look, that way up. So that in there and that in there. Hopefully I've sanded that down enough now to make it work. Probably not. It's harder to get to because again you can't get angles on it with other bits as well. No. No. There you go, that went. Half of that broke. I really don't like that method of attachment. It seems lazy. Half of each of those has snapped off. So that might make it easier. Less secure, but easier. It seems like a very lazy way of doing the attachment. Yeah, even half of it there's still not a too tight a fit. It's not going in as well as I would think it should. There you go. That's gone in there and is actually quite secure. It wobbles a little bit, but by the time the other surround's built up, I'm pretty sure that's going to be okay. Get it the right way up. That goes somewhere. Down and in and under. In there. In some sort of lower platform. Now these attachments are fine. They're great. They've got a little cut down the middle so the wood can squeeze together a little bit to pop in. And then when they're through, it pops back out again and it's quite a nice tight fit. The trouble with these ones is the way it's like wooden Velcro. But when it's in, it's fine. But those bits are sort of like that. So when you push it in, they squeeze together to fit in and then spring out and hold. These ones are the opposite, in that the part of getting it in is actually bigger than the hole that it fits into. So it makes it not impossible, obviously, but really difficult to get in. Assuming you can get it in, then it's obviously a good tight fit. It's not going to come out, but yeah. Candygram from Mongo's here. Thank you very much. Cheers. Hope everyone else is well. I'm well. I'm better now. I'm approaching the end of the glass. Right. I've only got 2 screws left, so I don't need to worry about the numbers on them. We've got a big bit that might break because it's got lots of fins cut in it. That one, that bit below it with, oh good, more of these bits that I don't like. You've missed several breakages, Candygram. I haven't used these yet. I assume they're the wheels, actually. They might not actually do anything. Now I've spent time lubricating it and making it go properly and spin. They're probably not actually going to be a functioning part. They're just going to bolt onto the bottom. That one, that one, that one, and that one. Oh good, more of these bits that I love. Yeah. Unfortunately, this has been the worst part of the build, and it's the last part of the build, so it's the part that's going to stick with me, and probably you lot as well. So apologies for that. It's not my fault. It's just the order that the instruction manuals put them in. We didn't finish on a high, we finished on more of a low, but you know, there we go. Get rid of the edges. I missed the breakages, hope they're all easily repairable. So far so good. It's this stupid attachment format they've got that hook like that, which you've got to push into a hole, so it's actually harder to push them together than anything else. And things just twist and turn and break. I broke that bit, I broke that bit, I broke that bit a little bit. But apart from that, it's all been great. Right, let's continue on. What have I got here? I've got that one. This is another one of those. So that bit's got to go into there. Which way round is it? The other way round, that way round. So yeah, I've got to get that into that hole. That's actually smaller than the end of the 2 pieces that I've got to fit into it at the same time. So yeah, expect more breakages. There hasn't been any swearing. So that's got to go in there. Actually, that one might not be so bad. There is a little bit of wiggle room. There we go. I could wiggle it while I was putting it in. It's always nice to give it a little bit of a wiggle sometimes. So now that goes into there. Oh, this is going to be great fun though. This is going to be... These bits... I've got to connect to that bit, and then on the end of this there's another bit, so that's got to go into there as well. It's all got to be the right way round, the right connections. Right, so that's that. Then there's this one's got to go onto there, but that's a good end, that's the normal fitting, that's just pushing in, like that. And then this side has got to go onto there, using the stupid connections. So welcome all to the stream. If you're only just joining me, you're an hour late, but we don't mind. I'm sure you had better things to do. You've missed all of this bit, and all of the breakages that are going to happen have already happened in the past. There's no more going to be happening in the future. So unfortunately, if you're here for the breakages, you're too slow, you've missed it. These last few bits are going to go together with no trouble at all. That didn't break, that doesn't count. Line up that, and then just squeeze. And it doesn't actually go together. Yeah, there we go. Squeeze harder, but try and squeeze in the right direction. There's that, and the top bit like that. There we go. See, no breakages, and things are lined up and fitted in. What more do you need? There we go. I've got that bit left. There should be two of them. Have I dropped one, or did I not get it off? I didn't get it off. I only got one of them out. I should have got two of them. At least you built faster than Fox ever would. Wood, get it, wood. Yeah. Actually, I don't enjoy seeing anything break. I had a closet rod support break 2 days ago, and they no longer make them that size. Fortunately, I was able to model and 3D print a replacement. Nicely done. Right, so these are both the same, and they're going to go in there just using the one. So the one connection is probably going to be okay, because that's got some wiggle room. I've got lots of lubricant laying on my bench from other purposes, so that should go in there, and I reckon that won't be a problem. No, see, wiggle room. That's all you need, a little bit of wiggle room. What wonderful times we live in when someone can 3D print a part to fix a broken item. Absolutely, yes. You can solve problems that you didn't even know you had, sort of thing. Our front door has a tendency to close itself, which is normally alright, not too much of a problem, but when it closes itself and you're still getting stuff, getting shopping in or moving in and out, that can be a problem. So instead of having to, shove a shoe next to it or something like that, I found online and 3D printed a hook. Basically a little ball and socket joint that one side is attached to the door, one side is attached to the wall that the door opens next to. And now, if you open the door to its maximum extension, you can clip it into this little socket, and it just holds it open enough that it doesn't shut. You can just pull it gently and it will pop back out of the socket, and then you can obviously close it, but it all just works. So solving problems that you almost didn't know you had, but a nice easy solution. There we go. That's that in there. And then the tail piece goes on the top. Like that. So yes, we're getting there. It's got thing that turns, that will turn the propeller and these little engine pistons to a degree. That's a clever idea, Chris, says Crafter. It's just, yeah, I just saw a problem and found a solution and printed it. Right. Onwards and onwards. The last two pieces from this sprue. Obviously, again, not coming out as easily as they should. So that last one, I should be able to twist it, shouldn't I? That should be a thing, shouldn't it? There we go. Now that pops out, so that's one of those, and another one next to it. Right, if you've been following any of my social media posts, you may have noticed that I have received another gift from my Amazon page. This one I know is from the lovely Lynn from American Land. She sent me another nano block thing. Again, not real nano block thing, but nano type things. And it's much bigger than I expected it to be. It's a lovely puppy dog type kit. So it seems, against my original intentions, Nano Tuesday shall return for at least one, probably 2 more weeks, depending on how long it takes to build the puppy dog thing. It's quite a lot of parts, but it's also quite a simple looking build, so it's probably going to be quite easy. Is there no wax you could use for parts to slide on? Yes, I have been using some wax for the parts to be sliding. That's that side, that's that side, like that, right. Yes, I'm approaching the end of the wax that came with the kit, but it is enough. I've also been doing a bit of extra sanding to make the clipping parts slightly smaller than advertised. But yes, so on Tuesday, for a limited run, the Nano Tuesday shall return. Now next Tuesday, yes, next Tuesday is the last Tuesday that I am off work, apparently. At the moment, is the intention. I shall be returning to my place of business the week after. So if I haven't finished the building, hang about, I'm just going to have to pay attention to this. This is that way up, this is that piece. It's got to go in there and then lever down, because that also lines up with that bit there. Oh, and that bit there. So that's got to clip into there and be in there as well. That's not going to be a problem at all, is it? Okay, so that's that. Now this one doesn't have the clippy thing to do. It's just got a clip on there and then that goes in there. So this is the bit that's going to be fun. Let's see if this works without any breakages. Yes, so for next Tuesday I shall be doing it's that creaky noise that's sort of the good noise, but doesn't sound like it. There we go, that worked. Yes, next week I shall be doing a Nano Tuesday. And depending on how the build goes, depends on if there are any more to continue. Obviously, if there is one the week after, it won't be lunchtime on Tuesday because I'll be at work. It will be later in the afternoon, evening time. So stay tuned for updates for that. There we go, that's those in. Approaching the end. We have one more wing, which has a couple of bits to pop out from the inside the rubbish. It's rubbish. There's one more piece to pop out, so I'm going to do that before I do the main wing bit, just so I've got it prepared for later. Actually, it's part of this stay page anyway, so there we go. That's that one. That's that. That's empty. Tidy up the edges on both. Trucker's back. Again, have you actually stopped again now, have you? What? Nat says, just seen the Lego kit that Katie and Gemma have built of the Harry Potter house. You definitely have some competition now. Yes, they've been doing that this morning. I didn't realise they finished and posted, but yes. Right, so that goes in there. Up the top, nice and easy. Extra bits to clip in place. That one. That one. And those two. Why is that one not going in? Might be not quite lined up right. This was the main panel bit, is actually 2 pieces which broke, so that might not have been quite lined up right, but it is now. Yep, that's that, that's that. Lots of room to get the bit in there too on that, so I'm happier with that as a build. And then the wheels, they are just the wheels, they don't need lubricating because they're just the wheels. They go on the bottom there, facing backwards. Yeah, wheels on the outside. Not that it matters on this, but yeah. There we go. And then propeller obviously goes on with that on one side, because that's the side that it's on. Oh, before I put that on, I notice I've got a couple of excess posts sticking out. Again, don't want anything that might cause any rubbing or problems with the propeller. Although I'm not going to have it down touching, but it's easier to have less problems. There we go, that's that. So then when this turns, the only thing that happens is the propeller goes around and these go in and out. The helicopter has much more internal mechanism and gearing, because this is the part, again, there you go, that's the part that's powered, which makes the propeller go round, not the rotor. But it also does this gear, which does this gear, which does this gear at the back, which does the tail rotor. So there's much more power required to do that. Although it feels like it should turn okay, it doesn't when it's all attached. Whereas this is just the one direct shaft. Admittedly it's doing this bit, but I don't foresee that being a problem, he said. Not foreseeing it being a problem, and it being a problem. I need 2 elastic bands, which I conveniently picked 2 out of the bag. I knew there was going to be a couple, but I didn't realise it was exactly 2. Right, so how do these... Oh, these go across and through somewhere. It must be through these holes here. So one goes across the top, one goes across the bottom. Okay, I understand that. So that needs to go. Let's do the bottom one first, because that looks like it's going to be a little bit easier. Probably means I should do it second, but there we go. I have a pair of tweezers. Tweeze that through there. And through there. Right, and then that's got to go over onto this. Hold that while I get that over there. And then that needs to come through there. Come on. Through there. And onto that. Except that's not quite right. It doesn't actually show it going through there. It shows it going across the middle piece, but that's just going to cause more friction. And I don't want more friction. Friction's going to be a bad thing. So I'm going to tweak the instructions. I'm going to take that across the bottom and then up to the top. So it still gives me that shape. This is purely cosmetic addition. It might be holding the wings in place as well a little bit, but so that gives you that shape, and then this will go across the top and then onto the bottom. Actually, let's put one on across the bottom anyway, so I don't have to worry about that hooking anywhere. And I can get that through here. And then through that top bit, he says, hopefully, just like that. All the way across there. Not actually coming out the top there, just for now. And I need that to go through there. And then from there, that's going to go down to the bottom bit. Which way do I want to grab through where to get to that? So I want to grab through there. Can I? No, don't think I can. That'll do it. There we go. That's that through there and onto there. So it gives us the nice effect of the cross beams without it actually rubbing in the middle piece and causing potential problems. So there we go. Finished, completed, done. At last. The entire kit is now completed. So we've got that, and the huge assembly piece, which I shall now grab. Here. So that should, possibly even on camera, just goes in and then slides up into that. Let's turn it so I can see what I'm doing as well. And when that engages into there, that should make the wheels mesh as well. Though I'm not going to be able to get that through there again. It definitely is there. There we go. So that's on there. That's on there nice and securely on that one. That's got some movement, and when I turn that, yeah, the propeller goes round nicer than it did with the other bit. You can't even see that, but there you go. Look. If I move it, you can hopefully see the propeller turning somewhat. Yeah, there you go. So now we have, what do we have? If that goes round there like that, we can move it up and down and tilt it forwards and backwards by using the handle here that you can't see, but is there anyway. If I lock it in place, I can wind it up, and we'll see if I can get it to go even a little bit live now on camera. So wound up. Hopefully it's not just going to spin round into my screen. If I release the action on here, yeah, it did. It flew round into my screen and knocked the propeller off, but it worked. That's the important thing. So yes, I'm happier now. That seems to work, and that seems to work. So I might need to glue the propeller on to make sure it's not going to fly off again. I shall try and get some filmage of it working when I can clear some space and have it somewhere else. But that is the end of model Aviator, which you can't see because it takes up the whole thing. It looks a bit like that, and it does even look like that with the plane on it. So yeah, success, it works, as someone said. Who was that? That was Candygram said that. Yes, thank you very much, it did. So that's the end of that series of Wooden Wednesday. Now, next week I shall return. I have bought myself another wooden kit. I've got this one. Let me go back to this screen because you can see me better on that one. This one, Assemble Me, Propel Me. This is the model mono wheel. So instead of being the Aviator, is the paperclip still not used? No, the paperclip was unmentioned. So I can only assume that it was intended to be hold your place in the instruction manual. I don't know. But yes, the paperclip was unmentioned. Let me clear that. I know I've got to tidy off the bits of wax and stuff from my bench anyway. But before we disappear, let's have a quick look at the model mono wheel. This is a smaller kit. The Aviator says it is somewhere, it says on the back here, 726 parts. And one paperclip that we're not going to mention. This one is fewer. This one is a mere 300 parts, so it's half the size, less than half the size. So should only take, 3 or 4 weeks rather than 8 or 10. In here we have once again some more wax. That's what my wax looked like at the beginning, and that's what it looks like at the end. So yes, the amount of wax supplied is just about right. We have once again sandpaper of the same same grit, same size. So again, yeah, probably look like that by the end of it. We have 3 huge elastic bands in this one. Lots of power, more power. Several of the bigger ones from the other one and a few smaller ones as well. We have the instruction manual and 1, 2, 3, 4 of the big sprues. So hopefully the better quality big sprues. There do seem to be lots of parts on them though, so they've again used the space equally well. So that's obviously the size of the outside wheel that we're going to be dealing with. The elastic band's tucked away so it all fits back in there properly. Yeah, so that's the, it might be the inside bit, there's a little bit bigger than that on the outside, but that's what we're going to be doing next week, next Wednesday. Next Wednesday will still be at midday, although as I say, the week after I'll probably have to shift to the evening because it looks like I'm going to be back working again. So yes, thank you all. Athol here says, Dad, are you working a working shop selling models? What's he been saying? Has he been trying to sell things? Anyway, yes, the kit that I've just built, the Aviator, is available on Amazon. I've put a link in the chat there for it from Fox's Amazon store. So if you buy it through that, it doesn't cost you anymore, but he gets a little kickback from it. So it's always worth doing that. If you want to build it, it works. Half of it works. The helicopter bit doesn't, although I might tweak it and see if I can get it to work. So, but yeah, I'm just happy that it does actually work. Let's have a look. Lewis is waiting to be loaded. Athold says, afternoon everybody. Graham says, that's not right, they should form an X, they're bracing wires. Yes, it probably should. The way it's done in the instruction manual, it sort of seems to go through the central piece, but it's not really going to fly. It doesn't matter what it does, but yeah, you can't actually... I might be able to get them... If I overlapped them and I had the top one going to the bottom with a twist in the middle, I might be able to get a twist in the... I'll play around with it and see if I can improve it before I take some pictures. But yes, Carl's here at Making Models, just at the end. Welcome, Carl. You missed everything, but yeah, there we go. Sal says that was a rough end to the build. Yeah, it wasn't the best. The overall build was great. I loved it. It was really good fun. The last couple of weeks with the smaller sprues weren't so good. The quality wasn't so good. The build isn't so nice, and it just didn't go together quite nicely on the helicopter. But all in all, it's a good fun build. If you've got a spare week, then by all means try it for yourself. Wooden monowheel here, and Fester's been building a monowheel tank. Fester has been doing the ball tank, yes. Completely unrelated. I just had a look through to see what other kits were available in the wooden thing to continue the Wooden Wednesday. And this one just jumped out and caught my eye. There are a couple more that I like the look of that I've seen. I've put a couple in my Amazon store, which might be the link I put up there. I don't remember. No, that's the Amazon store. I have a wish list. Basically, if you see something in there that you think would be fun for me to build for the amusement of others, then you can buy it for me. That's the way it works. So thanks to Lynn for doing that for the upcoming Tuesday nanoblock build, and thanks to Candygram for the now empty brandy glass that he sent me the brandy off, which I won't put any more in today, but I shall be using again for the next live stream. So yes, next week mono wheel. But before then, tomorrow, we have an evening with the gang. The gang has a new member. There is a new secret addition to the gang, which shall be revealed tomorrow evening at 8 PM on this channel. I have the weekly evening with the gang, and with all hope and likelihood, the new gang member will be arrived and unveiled live on the internet tomorrow night. So, yes, watch then to find out who's joining the crew. Then on Friday, I start my next big project, the big Lego 4x4 off-roader, Bluetooth-enabled remote control car kit thing. So that should be a fun build. That will be Friday lunchtime. Saturday, I don't have any streams planned. I know Fox is probably doing his his weekly game playing thing. Tonight, there's a live stream tonight. Skipper Ted is doing a live stream tonight where he's building his Tamiya tank thing. And then we're on to Sunday when everybody streams. Everybody streams at all, completely. From lunchtime with Colin and Dave at Festa 67's workshop. Then Fox doing some Warhammer. Then I expect Dad will be snipping in between Fox and me at 8 o'clock. So Fox, Festa, Fox, Dad, me. There we go. That'll keep you busy all day Sunday. Monday, E-Model is back again, and Tuesday I shall be returning during the afternoon for the nano blocks. That's the week in review. At the weekend, I'll put the links up and sort everything out and arrange times for things during the following week. Next week, I say, is more normal. The week after will be different again because of back to work times, lockdowns, closing and stuff and things. So, thank you all for joining me. It's been fun. I shall see you soon for more of much the same. I shall see if my single button press to finish everything works now. Hopefully it will. If not, you might see an empty chair because I'm going to go off and do things and not have a wee. No, I don't need to do that. Thank you all for watching me. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments and stuff. Candygram says, cheers Chris, glad you enjoyed the contact. I'm still enjoying it. Mystery person says, Raging Modeler. Oh yeah. Yeah, bye everybody. Thanks again, Chris says, Dexterous Crafter. So, thank you all. See you soon. Wash your hands, stay safe, and happy modelling. Bye bye.